Chapter 1. Piper studied biomedical sciences at Stanford University. Her home would always be Rochester, New York. Her time on campus was lively and vibrant with people of all backgrounds. At home, she still had a few friends, spending all her time in her family's mansion, bored. To Piper, today was an average day. She woke up around 1 or 2 in the afternoon, dragging her feet around the banner until she spotted her dad in the front yard, talking to a black man. Piper's curiosity flew through the roof, eyeballing the handsome young man, patiently listening to her father with a pickup truck filled with yard supplies. Her father complained that sometimes he needed a full-time or on-call groundskeeper because the grass grew back fast and the weeds even quicker. Piper bit her lip, needing a closer look as she floated toward the 2 men in front of the home. Soon she was looking out the outstretched ocean of emerald green grass. "Good morning, Daddy," Piper greets, hugging her father's arm with her eyes transfixed on the swarthy man across from her. "Hey, Pumpkin Puddin', this is Jabari. Stay out of his way while he works," her father warns, knowing how she likes spending her days smoking devil's grass by the pool or wherever she could get distance from her parents. Jabari. Piper couldn't hide her excitement as she darted out her hands. Her father scowled, and Jabari crossed his hands behind his back, giving a curt, polite nod. "You don't talk?" Piper raised an eyebrow, seeing the 2 men involved in a conversation. "Am I interrupting?" "Yes, now get your ass back in the house," her father lightly pushed her along, taking Jabari to inspect the grass and get a quote. Piper poked out her lip, pouting back to her room where she got dressed for the day. She sat across her bed, reading a shonen manga until she heard the conversation outside her window. While ignoring it, her curiosity found her by the window, watching the 2 quietly. "The last guy I had was full of shit. The bastard would charge monthly and show up once a month, cut the grass, then leave." "A lot of grass to cut," Jabari whistled. The backyard was longer than the front yard and longer by a few inches. 15,000 a year for 1 cut a month. He shook his head, wiping the sweat from his brow. Jabari whistled, never imagining such a high paycheck from an hour-long drive up north. Without hesitation, Jabari began walking the perimeter, sucking his teeth at the growing weeds overtaking their garden. The last guy either refused to weed whack or was too significant a burden on the acres of land. Jabari mostly worked around his neighborhood, restoring the Buffalo area. Word began spreading of a reliable guy who knew what he was doing. He was heading all sorts of locations for a year until getting his LLC and truck. He had invested in his equipment the entire time, but the riding mower was the piece de resistance. What once took him hours took half an hour with attention to detail with the same price tag. He went from working hourly to working promotion and being single. He had plenty of time to build. He never expected to be standing next to the Imperial Wizard discussing work. Jabari was also a licensed tax lawyer and CPA. It seemed fitting he would hire a black man to cut his grass rather than do his taxes. He mowed a few lawns for his neighbor, their friends, and their family until it replaced his original career in tax law. "All right, now, I'm a fair man. Show up here twice a month. Fix this place up for my guests on special occasions. I'll send you a check or pay you cash after so the banks don't give you problems, all right?" Her father continued. "Might run you about 25 grand a year and about 1,000 per diem. Get this place in shape. Your backyard's a forest and your front yard is crossing the Great Plains, man." Jabari elucidated on his price. The Imperial Wizard nodded, looking over his property. "See, this is what I talk about with my friends. Hire a white man. He gives you a fair price and doesn't want to work. But you black men charge an arm and a leg. But you do good work." "That's what y'all talk about in those woods that night?" Jabari adjusted. The Imperial Wizard smirked, giving the young man a wink and wrapping an arm around him. "You know, boy, I'm hiring you to get a better price than that dago bastard who took advantage of me." He sought sympathy. "I thought you came to get better work than the gentleman before me. It's a huge property. It's tradable quoting you at 20,000 for 2 monthly visits. Given all the work here, it'll be weekly. So I'll give you 4 monthly cuts. If I wait too long, week to week, this might overgrow beyond maintaining, and then I end up in the woods with you and your boys." The Imperial Wizard couldn't help but laugh, gripping Jabari and releasing him. You're telling me you'll come over here once a week for $20,000 a year? I believe I said 25,000. Jabari noted politely. Man, I couldn't even get the last bastard here once a month. I paid every bill. I'll take you up for 30,000 if you stay your black ass out my house. The Imperial Wizard extended his hand. Jabari nodded, shaking his hand, looking up to see Piper eyeballing him from the window. Got a few months from my daughter being home from school, and I don't need mixed breed babies running around because you got a hankering for vanilla. She's in California learning from those hippies and gays. She used to be a sweet girl. Came to our meetings and went to camps. She could have led the Fourth Reich, but instead, she wants to smoke weed and eat my food all day. The Imperial Wizard fumed. The window shutting caught both men's attention, and they were surprised it didn't break. Her father gritted his teeth, ready to explode, but instead excused himself, letting Jabari get to work while he attended to his daughter.